Joined by Dr. Rob Neal, founder of Golf Biodynamics. We're talking about wedges. He's just finished a fantastic project on wedge play. And we're going to talk about the importance of swing path and what swing path really does with wedges. It wasn't what I thought, so tell me a bit more about swing path and what it can change.
So what I think here, Martin, is the most important message to take away. It's a bit like the same with distance or speed. What you need to be able to do to be a competent wedge player is be able to change the path. So again, I'll go back to the long game analogy for you. If you're hitting your 7-iron, most of the time you just want to hit it exactly the same path every time. You know, if it's a little fade, you're hitting a few degrees to the left of your target line. If you like to hit it straight, then it's got to be 0. With a wedge, you might need to change it by 10 degrees to the positive side,
really,
or
that
10
much?
degrees to the negative side.
Oh, and what does it do? So if I wanted to change my path, we've got our target out there at 60 yards, and if I want to change my path, we think that you could do it with your hand path, but probably the simplest way is just change your alignment.
Change your alignment, yeah.
Change your alignment. So I've aimed to the right. What is that? So I'm aiming to the right as a right-hander. Is that going to make the ball go higher or lower?
So typically for you, it'll make it go lower. The extreme example, do you remember the wedge shot that Bubba Watson hit in the playoff for the Masters?
I think everybody remembers that one.
So he had to move the club path there about 15 degrees
Wow.
to his left at what,
Yeah.
so that he could hit this big hook. So there are times when you need to be able to do that with a wedge.
So if I aim the path to the right and I'm trying to hit a low shot, and probably a low shot with a bit of draw, the question then would be, I'm asking, I'm sure the viewers are asking, where would I aim the leading edge of the club?
So the leading edge now needs to be pointed pretty close to the target line.
So we'll say almost on the target line. So in a sense, I mean, some might say relative to the target line, I've changed the grip just a hair. And now I'm going to hit it. Now that will hit a lower shot with a bit of, probably a bit of draw. A lower shot with a bit of draw. Does that add? Ooh, nice. Does it add spin? Does it take spin off? Does it run a bit more when it comes in?
It'll run a bit more because now your land angle is going to be shallower.
Ah, the famous landing angle. Now let's just go the other way then. So if aiming right, for me, hits a lower shot, then is it safe to say that if I take my stance and I rotate my whole alignment to the left, aim the face about at the target, but always swing on my body line so the hand path doesn't circle around the body, that's going to hit the ball higher?
Absolutely high, yeah.
Okay, here we go. That hit it much higher. The landing angle would come down softer, so that would, and we could see that actually did have, at least the computer projected that as a lot more spin. And so, do you think, you've worked with all these wonderful wedge players, do you think there are a lot of subtleties of where they aim and what they do that most people watching on television would not appreciate?
They wouldn't appreciate it at all, and we don't really get to see how they vary the ball position as well, because that's important too in terms of controlling the angle of attack and then being able to deliver the club on the appropriate path.
So I think the takeaway lesson for you there, the learning lesson for you as you watch this, is to improve your wedge play, change where you aim, change your ball position maybe a tiny bit, and affect by doing that the trajectory of the golf ball, and maybe whether the ball runs out a bit or it doesn't, because sometimes you do want it to run out. Interesting stuff from Dr. Rob Neal.